Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are continuing in part 2 of the journey of Anastase, the Night Elf Hunter. So let's jump right into it. In the first episode, which I will put up in the top right here in case you have not seen it, we finished up in Shadow Glen, part of the starting zone for the Night Elves, and we are journeying on to Teldrassil. Before we go, I want to check out just in case there are any professions trainers in here. I like to get the professions as soon as I possibly can. This is so I can generate gold easily, and it also provides extra XP, which of course helps me with leveling. You'll get the extra XP from any of the gathering professions, except skinning, but that's because you will get that from, I hate to say it, but killing the animal anyway that you are going to skin. Now, I can't find any profession trainers in here, but you may have noticed the class trainers. Those of us who've been playing for a while will remember class trainers. Each class would have them. So like you guessed and like it says on the name, they trained your class. So each level you went up, you would go to them and you would pay to learn your spells. So if you did not have that gold, you were not learning that spell. I do kind of miss that. I know I can play Classic and I might jet on this channel, but for the moment I'm going to stick with this one. Right, so we are off on our journey out of Shadow Glen. Now you may not know this, but before Cataclysm, Shadow Glen was actually the most secure and safest location in the game. This was until they introduced World Flying Mounts. Why it was so safe is because the Horde, if they were trying to do a raid, it was a lot harder to actually get into Shadow Glen. They had to get a boat over, and then they had to get through all the other villages as well, until they got to Shadow Glen. And Shadow Glen itself is at a narrow choke point. So, if you started here, it was actually one of the safer ones. But for a Horde raiding it, it may have been the most fun. So at the moment, I have 2 quests to hand in. So we are going to Korata's Moonrage for passing awareness, and we also have Dolinar Delivery, where we have to go to the Innkeeper. We are also now in Teldrassil. Teldrassil means Crown of the Earth in Darnazian. Teldrassil was a world tree situated on this island, and it was created shortly after the Third War by the Night Elves, and it served as their home and primary base of operations. And good timing, there's a quest up here I'm going to get. So this is Zen Foulhoof, and the quest is Zen's Bidding. Eager for work, I see. Lucky for you, a day never goes by that I don't wish I had a fledgling hunter to perform my bidding. You see, Anastase, I could make you very happy and provide you with things you never dreamed of having. But in order for that to happen, you must bring me certain items. My business in the forest often requires certain regents. Fetch for me night saber fangs, strigid owl feathers, and swatches of wet wood spider silk. Okay, so for that we'll get another bag, so we won't argue, but I don't really trust him. In the slightest, I will say. And lovely, I have more spiders to deal with. I do want to try to find a pet though, now that I am able to get one. I don't think I'll be picking any spiders though. So when I actually do go to find the owl feathers, I think I'm going to try to get an owl. I do know in Dragonflight, well, I think anyway that all pets do equal damage. The only thing that differentiates them now at this stage is, I think, specialization. I actually really don't know enough about it, so I will research that further. I, at the moment, am just picking owl for aesthetic purposes and because I hate spiders so much. So, spiders are a no-go. When I can, and I'm a high enough level, I am going to get King Bangalash. That is a tiger. It is found in Northern Stranglethorn. When I first started playing WoW, my first character was a warlock, but my second one that I played the most was a blood elf hunter, and she had him as her pet, and he was called Garfair, and he was so super cool looking, and I just have such an attachment to that pet. So as soon as I can, that is one I'm gonna get as a pet, but the owl will do for the moment. And there we go, level 6 as well. So I have gotten Frayne Debt. That is always a handy one to have. Now, that must just be a normal pet up there, or one of those battle pets. I'm going to try to get this Strigid Owl. So, I'm going to check if they're tameable first. Oh, yeah, perfect. Look, so yeah, tameable. So, they are a cunning pet. Let's see now what happens if I tame. Yeah, perfect. There we go. Bird of prey. So, there is Anastase's first pet. First of many, maybe. Going to have to think of a name. I am not a very creative person, so I'm going to call it Bird. Name your pet bird? Sure. So there, everybody there is Bird. I never claim to be creative, okay? I promise I will eventually think up some nice names. I'll look up some Irish words or something and I'll come up with a nice name for Bird eventually. For the moment, he looks like a bird anyway, so I think Bird suits him. I feel bad kind of killing Bird's buddies or his family right in front of him and actually getting him to help as well. It's a bit mean, but look, I needed to tame something. Okay, reminders of home. Pick that up. That's Naoma, cooking supplies. And cooking trainer. So yeah, I'll learn these recipes while I'm here. There's no harm in ever having the cooking recipes. So this is Dalinar. We've made it anyway. And here is Moonrage. Coratras Moonrage. Perfect, you're gonna hand this in. Teldrassil, the refusal of the aspects. Let me tell you more of the task you must complete. The druids are in Darnassus use the water of the moonwells of Teldrassil, and their moonwells must be replenished from time to time. Using these specially crafted vials, you can collect the water of the moonwells. Take this vessel to the moonwell outside of Starbreeze Village to the east and fill it with some of its waters. Then return to me. Pay heed to the lessons of the moonwells, lest we find ourselves furthering our shortcomings. Fill the jade vial. So while that was going on, the shade of Kaldori behind us was actually telling us something. So I actually completely missed that. Oh, and I can't even read it. The action bar is over most of it. I'm going to have to edit this action bar to just move it. So at least now, look, I can actually read it. And I'm going to call that new. Oh, I must already have new. So, new one. Yeah, and that worked this time. With Malphur and Stormrage gone, the druids were left in disarray and in desperate need of a new leader. Archdruid Fandral Staghelm roused the druids and convinced the Circle of Ancients in Darkshore that it was time for our people to rebuild. In an effort to regain immortality for our people, and with the approval of the Circle, Staghelm and most powerful druids grew Teldrassil, upon whose borrows you now stand. Though we have our new home, our immortal lives have not been restored. So just giving us more of a backstory as to how the Night Elves have come to be. Oh, perfect, and here is the professions trainer. So I am going to go for herbalism. I was going to go for skinning, but I think I'm going to go for herbalism. It just helps with having some extra XP as I am leveling up. And it is always a good little money maker because it serves 2 different professions. So alchemy and enchanting. And I kind of like gathering the plants too. And for my production, I am going to go for alchemy. I don't know what way enchanting is working these days, but I know there is always a need for alchemy and for potions. So I'm going to stick with what I know. I'm not too sure about how professions are doing for making money these days. That is something else I'm going to have to read up on as well, just to see. I'm now going to hand in over here.
I am listening.
So, a troubling breeze. A troubling breeze blows through the forest. Gerlos Talfterin serves as Great Warden to the hibernating druids of Talon in the Banatil Barrow Den. His duty as a chosen protector of the sleeping is to ensure their safety so that their pact with his Zara remains fulfilled. But word from Gerlos is now delayed and I grow nervous. Travel east to Starbreeze Village and bring back a report from Gerlos so that I can put my worries to rest, know my dreaming brethren slumber safely. So we just have to go to Starbreeze Village and check on his brethren to see if they are okay. So we will be going that direction anyway for a quest, so no harm. Now up to that innkeeper.
I am honored.
Your body looks worn and your spirit weary. Rest yourself beneath our roof and allow Alune to guide your dreams. So we finally get to hand over the delivery. How might I be of service to you, young one? Are you here to rest in the inn? Do you require a Heartstone? No, I actually have a present for you.
Good luck, friend.
Ah yes, the delivery of hers from Shadowglen. It is a shame that Portnaeris could not bring it himself, for we have much to discuss, he and I. But I'm glad to get the herbs nonetheless, and I'm glad you came. While you are here, please rest yourself. Heroes must keep their strength and spirits high, and must find rest and solace wherever they may. For to neglect one's peace of body and mind is a sure path to failure. So we get a choice of rewards here, so it's either cheese or water. So I'm going to pick the cheese, because I like cheese. And no, really, more so because I'm not mana-based. I don't need the water. And as you can see, I've made this now my inn. Just make it easy when I need to come back to handing quests at some stage. For some reason, I don't know why I went up there. I actually thought there would be a hand-in up there for some reason, but it's actually down here instead, it seems. Oh, look in there, my pet came flying around the corner. So, Battle Pet Trainer, learning the ropes. Now that you are a pet trainer, it's time to test your skills. Head out into the forest and pick a fight with a battle pet. Come back to me after you've won, and I will continue your training. Good luck. So the objective is to win a battle. Look, I'm not into the pet battles, I'm going to be honest. So, I won't be.
Greetings.
New location discovered. Reminders of home.
Go in peace.
How can I help?
Farewell.
That's very thoughtful of Naoma. For a few coins, I will arrange quick transportation to the capital by Hippogriff.
Go in peace.
To Darnassus. Everyone in Donanir is so proud of Sister Queen. I'm certain she'll be proud to receive this thoughtful gift from Naoma. When you're ready to travel to Darnassus, just speak to me again, and a few coins, you can hire a Hippogriff to take you there. I told Sister Queen enjoys the solitude of a small plaza just south of the Hippogriff Master in Darnassus. Look for her there after you arrive. So I just need to speak to Fidlio when I decide I want to go. Remember guys, I've told you, my pronunciation is horrendous. I'm so sorry. And over to Swiftroot, the Emerald Dreamcatcher. I was once given an Emerald Dreamcatcher from Gerlois Taverton, the Warden of the Druids in Banatil Barrow Den. This powerful amulet is able to siphon energy from the Emerald Dream, bestowing luck upon those who carry it. Sadly, I've not been able to retrieve it from my dresser in Starbreeze Village. Although Starbreeze was once a tranquil place, it has succumbed to the corruption of the Furbolg that reside there. Perhaps you'd be willing to recover the Dreamcatcher Hunter. So retrieve the Emerald Dreamcatcher. Yet again, I'm going over there anyway, so we may as well. I don't know what that blue font is. I'm assuming maybe it's some magic.
Hello.
Oh, I thought she was a healer when I saw bandage trainer or healing trainer, but she's not. I don't even know if they do bandage training anymore, actually. I still have the quest for Zen biddings. And look, more wisps around the place. Hello, Mr. Wisp. So yet again, they're just showing how the forest is so full of life, both past and present, and how their ancestors are still all around them, just really showing what a sacred place this is. So that shade of Kaldori, we kind of missed it, but what he was talking about was the Circle of Ancients. So the Circle of Ancients are a group of ancients, and what they are, giant, sentient, demigod-like trees. They serve as protectors of nature, and they were among the first creatures of Azeroth. They are the guardians of life, so makes sense why they would be in charge of the Night Elves. Besides humans, I'd be guessing almost, I know there's dwarfs and gnomes, but the Night Elves are probably one of the more original, I don't want to say fantasy, or it's not even magic, but like nature-based beings on this. Maybe it could be blood elves as well, I'm not sure. But the ancients and the Night Elves are very closely linked. So that's Zen's biddings done anyway. Back to Zen.
Now
Have you been a busy little bee, Anastase? I've been waiting for you to bring me what I need. He is not sinister at all.
Don't touch me!
Haha, well done indeed. Who could have guessed that I, Zen Foulhoof, could have a Night Elf to do my bidding? Certainly not me. But so it goes. This beloved world of ours is full of surprises. 3 cheers for the naive and gullible. That is so mean, Zen. He really is Foulhoof. Also, no other quest for him. I thought he might actually have another quest to give us. Maybe he owns my soul now and I don't even realise it. I'm sure we'll find out though. Oh, the little bunny. I'm not going to kill you, bunny, don't worry. I've just killed deer and turkey instead. Oh, so all around here is the pet battle. And lovely, another spider after me, so go away, spider. I must say, and I don't know if other people find this, I'm sure you'll let me know if you do, I find the gathering professions so relaxing to do. And like I can see there's a leaf up on my map there, so I'm gonna go and gather that now when I'm done being attacked by every single animal that is here. Bird is jumping in though to help. Thank you, Mr. Bird. You are really part of the team. But I find the gathering profession just so relaxing. Mining as well. I weirdly kind of prefer the mining. I don't know if it's just because I like the sound that it makes as it's mining, which I know sounds really sad. Oh, you must equip a pet to battle, so I can't even... And I don't think I got one. But you know what? I'm not even that bothered about the pet battles, I'll be honest, so I'm going to leave that. Oh, another shade. The Archdruid approached the dragons for their blessing, as the dragons had placed on Teldrassil in ancient times. But Nostradum, Lord of Time, refused to give his blessing, citing the druids for their arrogance. In agreement, Anastase, who refused Stagchem and without her blessing, Teldrassil's growth has been flawed and unpredictable. Stagchem retreated to his enclave in Teldrassil, ever seeking a new direction for which to bless Teldrassil and restore the immortality of our people. Teldrassil. It is like a tongue twister. Sometimes I can say that word and other times I can't. Well, he fades away. So, look, like that, each font or each well we come across, we learn a bit more about the history. And that is the Jade one filled. But sorry, before I got interrupted by the Shade of Kaldori, I love the Gathering Professions. I used to, maybe not so much these days, but when I used to have the time, I used to like literally do hours at night, just flying around, gathering, especially mining. Used to be in Northrend. I can't remember the name of what the actual ore was. It was kind of, the rock was like it was like a black, but it was like an icy blue. Maybe ice something. But I mean, I used to spend hours flying around collecting this stuff and selling it then on the auction house, because back then you'd make serious money. Oh, your son, I don't know. That star symbol must mean it's probably a boss that I may have been hitting early. And that's level 7, so got Hunter's Mark. Sadly though, Hunter's Mark, I don't really use it these days because it doesn't do anything besides just put a mark over their head. I could be wrong, but I think Hunter's Mark used to give maybe like a bonus. I don't know if I'm imagining a 10% bonus, but I have a 10% bonus in my head for if you put it on to someone. And there's the chest. And there is the Emerald Dreamcatcher. So the house totally abandoned and ransacked in the Starbreeze Village after it being taken over by the Gnarl Pine. Yet again though, the level of detail here is so good. It's unreal to look at. I'm going to go up now and get this plant as well while I am at it. Linen is also a good one to have to sell on the auction house to make a bit of money too. I mean, especially for mounts and stuff. I didn't, well, not that I wasn't going to, but I'm going to take off that pet battle as well. There is no point to me having that. I don't want it. But I'm not going to give myself money for this. I think I've said that on the ones I've started, but I will have her from scratch. She's going to make her own gold. She's going to be her own boss. And I'm not going to have any gold sent from my alts over to her. She'll have to make it herself. Just more so, I'm interested to see how long it might actually take for me to do that. It also gives me a bit of a push to get onto the auction house and like this gather, get the stuff I actually need. And yeah, just see how long does it take for me to get up to flying and all the rest of it. So there is another hand in here. This must be the brother we need to check on.
It's too far away.
So take this guy out as well. Thank you, bird. You're so good protecting me as well. Yeah, up we go. Yet again, I just love looking at all the details here. I could stay for ages and look at them if I didn't think there'd be a respawn. Is he dead? Garrulus. Oh no. Thank me, Forest Spirit, you are here. Oh, I didn't see him there. Sneaky. I knew Artradas would sense trouble and send help. You are right. The Narrapine tribe corruption has returned. They ambushed me as I left for the Banatel Borrow Den and proceeded to Starbreeze Village. Something in the forest has corrupted Ursel the Mauler, their chieftain, and he is using the evil powers of the Felmos to drive them mad. I'm too wounded to return to Atradas to bring him this grave news. The task is left to you, young hunter. We can only hope that the deranged Narrapines have not made it to Banatil yet. So, I have to return to Atradas in Dolanir and let him know what's happened to Starbreeze Village. Definitely do remember the name of that chieftain of that tribe. Oh, I'm going to pull every single Narralpine on the way back. Oh, I got copper chain vest plans. Yet again, I'll sell that on the auction house and probably get maybe about 10 copper for it at this stage if I'm lucky. And I'm going to kill every animal on the way. Maybe I should have taken up skinning at this stage. I'm killing a lot of beasts. I think it's beasts for the skinning. But we'll get the peace bloom instead. Choose peace, not violence. And just, that is one annoying thing about the gathering professions, is when you're obviously trying to go to get them, pulling everything around it and you have to kill them. At least when you're high levels, you can fly around. And that is, I know I keep talking about druids. In my last game, I was talking about druid as well and how I wish I had the seal fast travel. But that's just because I was playing druid for quite a long time. But the druid is so good for anything gathering profession wise. Just with the flying, fly, do your little bit of mining, do your bit of gardening, and or shapeshift back into your flying and off you go again. I think they said, and I mean, you'd have to be like nearly be a full-time job, but I think they used to say it was, obviously quicker than mounting up and dismounting. Because I think it's like instantaneous. Yet again, it's been a while since I've actually played it, so I can't remember off the top of my head. But I do always remember being told that for the gathering professions, druid is a great one to go to. So, just gonna go back now and hand in everything that I'm after doing there. So, into Atradas first.
Greetings.
By the stars, this is quite disturbing indeed. We've had trouble in the past with the corruption of the furblogs, but such trouble should be long past since the cleansing of Teldrassil. I fear for all our people if the blessing of the aspects themselves cannot redeem our great tree. So that'll get us 10 silver and 15 copper.
Goodbye.
Narralpine invaders were seen ravaging the Banatil borrowed den, tucked into the hills in the west. The slumbering druids will be trapped in the Emerald Dream for eternity, unaware of their fate unless we help. The delicate hibernation ritual cannot be broken without the relics of wakening. Journey to the den and retrieve the Ravenclaw's talisman, Blackfeather Quill, Sapphire Sky, and Rune of Nesting. The druids store them at the sacred chests. Return them to me and I will prepare the awakening ritual. So, retrieve the relics and, I think another bag. Dreamcatcher.
I am on it.
The Narralpine aggression is limiting our option. None of our kind are eager to bring blade and arrow against creatures that were once our friends. But I grow fearful that they are going to set their sights on Dolanir soon. The biggest concern to me are the furblogs in Banatil Hollow and Banatil Borrow Den. I need you to travel to the west, make your way into the Borrow Den, and kill as many of the Narralpine as you can. We probably won't have any more chance to limit their strength. Be swift. So kill 20 Narralpine furblogs in and around Banatil Borrow Den. And 20 silver and 30 copper for that.
Belnades.
Some of our huntresses have already made their way to Banatil Borrow Den. They will find you when you get inside. Go ahead and speak to Situri to secure a ride there. Okay. I feel I'm going to say this in every episode as well. I have always ran there.
What brings you here?
Hello again, Anastase. Have you completed your task? Sure.
Farewell.
Oh, I'm sorry. I went past that too quick. I'm after getting a new mouse and it's a bit more sensitive than my last one, so really sorry about that. I should have read that out. But yes, no, I have played this so many times. I never knew you could actually get a ride there. So that is so handy to know now. I'll get a lift or a taxi with them. And now, just one more handing left to do. And then the Gnarl Pine are gonna get it, by the looks of it. But they must have been friends at one stage, obviously the Night Elves and the Gnarl Pine. I suppose they were talking about the chieftain. But then again, I suppose Night Elves, like with all this, they're very much nature and working together and all that. Cyril Bladeleaf. The Council of Forest has news that you aided Zen Foulhoof. The satyr is an enemy of the forest. As a night elf, you should have known better than to defile the forest by killing nature's creatures. You must redeem yourself in the eyes of the council if you wish to remain a friend of Teldrassil. Teach Foulhoof a lesson and you shall be redeemed. Falcons are corrupted seeds that fall from the trees. They bellow with green smoke. Give some to Foulhoof, he'll think you brought him a harmless snack. Oh my god, that is so shady. I feel so bad for him. I know I shouldn't, he called me naive, but I do.
I am on.
Please, move swiftly. I can only hope that my Emerald Dreamcatcher has been unharmed by furblogs. Have you recovered it yet? Yes.
Good luck.
The Emerald Dreamcatcher is great importance to me. It's a gift only given to few. Thank you for returning it. The emerald, it is missing. My Dreamcatcher has been damaged. There is a band of Gnarlpine mystics located to the north of Starbreeze. I've heard reports that their leader, Ferocitus, the Dream Eater, has been wearing a necklace that glows green in the night. Now seeing my Dreamcatcher, I'm sure that he's stolen my emerald. He would never realise its powers. It's useless to him. Find this missing jewel, Anastase, and while you're there, clear out some of the corrupted mystics as well. So kill 7 Gnarlpine mystics and find the missing jewel. So the Gnarlpine are really gonna be wiped out of it here. They're getting taken out from all corners. So much for being friends with them. The Night Elves are rootless between Foulhoof and just culling them. But they're balanced, so I'll give them that. So that is episode 2 of Anastase, the Night Elf Hunter. We have made it to Dolinar. We have yet again done quite a lot now in this episode. And I have an owl called Bird. If you have any suggestions for a name that would suit better, please do comment below. If you don't think of one, I'll find a nice Irish Asquelga name to give him at some stage. I'll have to go through an Irish dictionary to find one. That is the end of this episode though. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching it. I really do appreciate it. If you have any suggestions of games you'd like to see in the future or anything else you'd like to see me do, please do comment below. But as always, I just want to thank you so much for stopping by and watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!